Yo, listen up, people, before we even dive into this wild ride of facts, contradictions, and dark politics. Let me say one thing loud and clear. This is News Decoded, and you're watching Dark Sides, where we shine that brutal spotlight into the corners most folks are scared to look at. They posted an open letter calling for former President Donald Trump to either pardon Maxwell or grant her a retrial. Donald Trump fires the lead federal prosecutor from the Ghislaine Maxwell case. Their response is confused, hesitant. Why? Because the MAGA-based Trump's core has started to question him. After Trump calls the Epstein files a hoax, after a Trump DOJ memo claims the files don't even exist, after Attorney General Pam Bondi says the investigation is closed. Suddenly, he removes the one person most connected to the Epstein Maxwell prosecution. They're turning on him, accusing him of covering up the Epstein files. He says it clearly either Comey was fired because she's James Comey's daughter, which is blatant political retaliation, or she was fired because she prosecuted Epstein. They start bringing in other voices. One reporter claims she went to a rodeo in rural Pennsylvania and couldn't find a single person who cared about the Epstein list. That's their response. Well, rodeo folks don't care. Tragically, Virginia recently died by suicide. And now, in the aftermath of her death, the same president who once promised to expose Epstein is calling it all a hoax. He's not only denying the reality of what happened, he's using federal law enforcement to investigate the people who exposed it. One moment he's claiming the files are fabricated by the Democrats. The next moment, he's disowning his own supporters if they continue believing the files are real. Literally saying, if you believe this, you're not with me anymore. Then they roll out lawyer John Yoo, who says we should be more focused on the open scandal involving President Biden, Alan Dershowitz, Epstein's attorney, and Trump's too. Dershowitz is now pushing for a pardon for Ghislaine Maxwell. Oh, and he just submitted a recommendation letter for email above Trump's own criminal defense lawyer in his recent 34-count conviction to be appointed as a federal appeals judge. Footage of them partying together at Mar-a-Lago isn't just a casual memory, it's part of a deeper pattern. Recommended by Dershowitz, who's calling for Maxwell's pardon, who's also tied to Epstein. Journalist Michael Wolff, who's written extensively about Trump and Epstein, says Epstein once showed him photos of topless underage girls sitting on Trump's lap by Epstein's pool. It came right after Trump changed his tune. Now she can go to court and argue. The president says it's all fake. The files, hoax, the prosecutor. Her father created the hoax. That's her argument now. And guess what? It might work, because when you've got the president on your side, claiming your case is built on a lie, well, that's a golden ticket for a retrial. He's right at the center. He fires the lead prosecutor. He pushes the hoax narrative. He disowns his own supporters who still believe in the files. He installs loyalists into powerful positions. He rewrites the story until it works in his favor. Wolff says those images were kept in Epstein's safe, which was later emptied by the FBI. Where are they now? That same Mar-a-Lago resort was where Epstein found Virginia Giuffre, then a 17-year-old homeless girl working as a towel attendant. She tells of a late-night encounter in Epstein's office building where she saw Trump. She says Trump ogled her legs like she was lunch. Hit that like, drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you haven't yet, subscribe. We don't do fake drama. We don't do handshakes and talking points. We break it down. We decode it. This is News Decoded. And you just experienced Dark Sides, called it a hoax, blamed the Democrats, blamed Comey, and he's already said it. Anyone who still believes in the Epstein files is out. He's done with them. Epstein, she says, told him that one's not for you and sent him into another room. Another girl, presumably, was waiting. Ghislaine Maxwell found her, recruited her, and brought her into Epstein's world. Ghislaine was picking up phone numbers from girls in school uniforms. She remembers being weirded out, so Ghislaine gave her a cheap bracelet Ivana was selling on QVC to shut her up. That's the level of normalization happening here. Predators masking abuse with marketing trinkets. Odd open. Like, literally, the device presidents used to sign documents. He points out that Trump once promised to release the Epstein files. Pam Bondi claimed to have them on her desk. Trump's allies in Congress yelled about transparency, but now crickets. Republicans just voted against releasing those files. Goldman says, what changed? He suggests what many are already thinking: Trump's name is in the files, and they're covering for him. That's somehow more important than one of the largest, darkest sex trafficking cases in modern U.S. history. Either way, the explanation doesn't hold up. Something's wrong. Trump backs away, says he doesn't know anything about it. I have nothing to do with it, he mutters. You can hear the gears grinding. Conservative media tried to spin it. One anchor says, bad week for Moren Comey. Rewind to his first campaign. Epstein was a centerpiece of Trump's attacks. He was constantly tossing barbs at the Clintons, suggesting Bill Clinton had problems coming up related to Epstein's island. He used the case as political ammo. She just lost the Diddy case and now got fired. She was Epstein's prosecutor, but that's all they offer. They try to sweep the significance under the rug, but tongues are wagging. Yes, the same one who helped prosecute Jeffrey Epstein before his death, that prosecutor. Her name is Moren Comey, daughter of former FBI Director James Comey. Trump, now pushing the theory that Epstein's entire case is a hoax engineered by Comey Sr., just fired the very person who helped hold Epstein and Maxwell accountable. Why? Because of what Trump's been saying lately, that the Epstein investigation, the files, and the so-called list are nothing more than an elaborate hoax cooked up by political enemies. That list, the one implicating powerful people in Epstein's trafficking ring. Trump says it's fake, made up by a deep state alliance: James Comey, Barack Obama, Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton. If you're feeling the truth bombs we're about to drop, then you better smash that like, hit subscribe, and drop your thoughts in the comments. We're not here to handhold or sugarcoat. Let's get into it. Now just follow the facts. 2 days ago, Ghislaine Maxwell's family and supporters went public with a demand. So, what happens 24 hours after this letter hits the web? And here's the kicker: when this news breaks, the media barely knows what to do with it. Even outlets usually favorable to Trump stumble, so let's talk sequence. Then, you get Democratic Senator Adam Schiff responding. Fox News then shifts gears, so now Donald Trump's narrative shifts again. A reporter asks if he's going to appoint a special prosecutor to investigate this so-called hoax. But that wasn't always the case. And let's not forget Trump had a long history with Epstein. Virginia spoke out publicly and repeatedly. She described how Maxwell trained her, groomed her, and delivered her to Epstein. She named names. She laid it all out. Trump wasn't done, though. After firing Moren Comey, he directs the FBI to investigate the so-called hoax. Think about that. What comes next? A flood of strange, disturbing reports. Then there's Maria Farmer, one of Epstein's earliest victims to speak out. Maria recalls driving around with Ghislaine Maxwell and Ivana Trump. Fast forward. Federal prosecutor and now Congressman Dan Goldman speaks up. And who else is in the mix? Let that sink in. The same guy who defended Trump in court might now become a judge. This is a network of loyalty, deflection, and protection. And Donald Trump and that letter Maxwell's family posted. That wasn't random. It was timed. If she gets one, don't say you weren't warned. And let's not forget Trump said it again, standing next to the Prime Minister of Bahrain. It's a full court press to erase what we know, bury what we've seen, and protect the powerful. So, the question is, what are you gonna do with that? If you made it this far, you're part of the few who aren't afraid to look into the shadows. Keep the conversation alive. See you in the next one.